fuck is you telling me?
Yes, sir. You were tuned in to episode 14, Throw the Hook Podcast. It's your boy G5 Jeff TV, aka G5, aka 5, aka the Guru. And I got my dog in here with me, Ty Finney, the legend. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, man? I'm glad to be off today. The snow wasn't as bad as everybody said it was going to be, but I am off today. So, I got an extra day off to relax. So I'm happy about that. So, but, we had a good fight this weekend. So ready to rock and roll and get into that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Big shout out to the team, man. Big shout out to Shane out there in the UK, man. Big shout out to Shane. Big shout out to Vlog as well. Everybody favorite OG, Boxing Versus Vlog. He'll be on here pretty soon. So I'm expecting to see him. Big shout out to the Boxing Source. Big shout out to Coach Ali. Big shout out to YSM Sports Media, man. Big shout out to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Giving y'all a little bonus show today. Usually we don't go on Mondays, but because of the snow and everything, I had a day off too. So figure why not, jump on live and talk about the very interesting fights that went down this weekend. Raymond Muratalla got a decision victory over Andy Cruz. So we're definitely going to talk about that. Apparently, Keyshawn Davis was very happy about Andy Cruz losing, and we'll get into that as well. Jesse Hart took a crushing loss to Khalil Coe by a majority decision. We're definitely going to get into that because there's a lot of particulars with that particular situation. We also had Zuffa had their first boxing card on the 23rd, so we can get into that as well. And then obviously this Saturday, this fight card could possibly go down as the biggest card of the year, and that's Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. So we're going to get into all of those things, and I'm trying to think, where do I want to start? You know what? Did you check out the Zuffa boxing event, or did you read anything about it?
Yeah, I missed it, but from what I was hearing, a lot of fans were upset. It seemed like it didn't live up to the hype, but I understand it was their first card. They still got a long road to go, as far as putting cards together, get everything worked out. So if it didn't live up to the hype, as far as the first card, it's understandable. You know what I mean? It's a new promotion. So they still got to get a lot of things worked out. But I just heard that it wasn't a great card. It wasn't the best.
Yeah, so I watched the card, and to make a long story short, bro, the card was it was okay. It was okay at best. It didn't have any top of the line names. Some of the fights were solid. Colin Walsh and Carlos Ocampo was as the main event. But I don't know what the rollout was for Zuffa Boxing. I don't know what their promotion was. I don't know if they was promoting it in the sense of they're taking over boxing, or they're just another group that's just putting on cards. I don't know how deep their promotion was going into this. So in terms of fans being disappointed, I'm assuming that Zuffa Boxing was basically promoting this like it was going to be upper echelon, top of the top. And if that's how they were promoting it, then I would say no, it didn't live up to that. But if they're promoting it in a sense of like, hey, we're trying to put on boxing cards as much as possible. We're trying to develop fighters and showcase new talent as much as possible and grow people into the future stars of the sport, then, I can get with that type of promotion. I can get with that type of promotion. And I feel like watching it, you know what it looked like, Ty? It looked like it looked like Pro Box TV with money behind it.
Mm.
And I'm not, and that's not a shot. That's not a shot. That's not a shot at Pro Box TV. It's not a disrespect towards Pro Box TV. I like Pro Box TV and I like the cards that they put on. But the thing with Pro Box TV is that they put on good fights, they put on good cards. I even like the production and everything. I like the commentary. I like everything about Pro Box TV. But the only thing that is missing is the big time names. And that's what I mean by Zuffa Boxing possibly being a Pro Box TV with money behind it for right now. I'm not saying that they're not going to be able to get big time names, 6 months from now, a year from now, a year and a half from now. But I think people that believed Dana White when he said Zuffa was going to be the biggest thing in the world, right out the gate, it's just not going to happen. You're going to see a bunch of young fighters or fighters with some names that might be on the back side of their career, getting fights on Zuffa Boxing. I thought the production was good. I thought Max Kellerman was just doing entirely too much. Like he had the Zuffa pom poms out crazy, bro. He had the Zuffa pom poms out crazy. You know what I'm saying? He was just going overboard with it. Like, okay, like we know you just got signed to Zuffa and you got a job and everything. All that's cool. But he was just going a little too crazy with it. He was going so crazy with it. And then all of them wore Zuffa trunks. Like it was almost like uniforms. Like they didn't wear their own attire.
Wow.
Like, yeah, like they didn't wear their own attire. Like they wore like Zuffa like boxing trunks. Like so nobody came in with their own like custom trunks or anything, which I thought was crazy because
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about that. So
yeah, if you watch them fights, bro, all of them got on Zuffa trunks.
wow.
You know what I'm saying? Which
Yeah.
I'm like, you're supposed to promote individuality and you're supposed to promote guys. Like, how you gonna promote guys and everybody's wearing the same uniform? Like I
Sure.
like just I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. You know what I'm saying? So they definitely they have some work to do. I kind of like the card they got going on February 1st. They got Ryo on the card. He's the main event. And then they got Alexander Volzdik versus Hot Rod. I like that fight too. So hopefully the second one's better than the first one. But anybody checking for Zuffa Boxing, just tone down the expectations. Just tone them down just a little bit. It's like anything that's brand new. You got to work out the kinks. Got to work out the kinks. Like Ty said, you got to work out the kinks and basically go from there. But hopefully, the more people that are getting into boxing, like boxing needs networks right now. You know what I'm saying? Boxing needs networks. Like Top Rank don't have a network as of right now. Golden Boy don't have a network because they haven't renewed their contract with the Zone. You know what I'm saying? PBC, they have the Amazon deal, but Amazon's not invested in boxing. That's just an isolated deal for when they want to do pay-per-views and stuff like that. But PBC really don't have no network. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's a boxing problem right now. So if Zuffa is providing Paramount and Paramount is going to invest in boxing, then it's going to be a good thing, before it becomes a bad thing. I know people are talking about the pay scale for the fighters, and a lot of fighters are saying that's not enough money and all of that. So Zuffa got some things to work out. They got some things to work out for sure. But I watched that card, Ty. It was like your regular card, up and coming fighters, like just like mid-level card.
Gotcha. Yeah, but
so.
But like you're saying, like Vlog was saying, Usyk is supposedly going to be signed to them. Like I said, we do know Jay Pattaya is signed to them. Like I said, we do know we got the Charles Martin Efe Ajagba fight coming up. So like I said, like they're just getting a foot in the door. We'll just see how the rest of the year plays out for them. Maybe the next card is going to be a lot better than the first. So I'm sure they took everything into consideration. So all we can do is expect for the next one and see what happens with it.
Yeah, for sure, man. And the thing is, like, I don't want for people to be really down on Zuffa because they're just starting. You know what I'm saying? Get them a chance to work some things out. And to be honest with you, I'm not even really worried about the pay scale for the fighters. Like, I'm not even worried about it because I'm like, if the fighter is okay with it, they're gonna sign with Zuffa. If they're not okay with it, they're not gonna sign with Zuffa. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really worried about the purses as long as guys getting paid and they okay with what they're getting paid. Then I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, but you know, as long as they putting on cars, Ty, I'm good. As long as they putting on quality cars, quality fights, it don't have to be like I get it. Like it's not gonna be. We're not gonna get top 5, top 10 pound for pound guys. Like I get it. Like I get it. I just want fights where guys are evenly matched or they're good style matchups, and we can actually enjoy a fight card. You know what I'm saying? So, but we checking for Zuffa boxing because we love boxing. At the end of the day, whoever's providing boxing, we gonna support it. Until they give us a reason not to. So, big shout out to Zuffa boxing. We'll see what they do going forward. But Ty, we got to get into these fights that happened over the weekend, bro. I gotta start with Jesse Hart and Khalil Cole. So Khalil Cole won a majority decision in a 10-round fight against Jesse Hart, and this fight has caused a lot of talk. This fight has caused a lot of stir, and people are upset. People are really, really, really upset in regards to this particular fight. Todd, who did you think won the fight, and how did you feel about Khalil Cole coming in 7+ pounds overweight?
Yeah, man. So I felt Jesse Hart definitely won the fight. As far as Khalil Cole, that was bad. And yeah, we know sometimes this happens. A boxing fighter doesn't make weight. They get an opportunity to go backstage, try to come out, make weight again. But 7, 8 pounds, that's a lot, man. 7, 8 pounds is a lot. So that was already bad. Now, of course, they asked Hart, do you still want to move on with the fight? I understood why he wanted to. It was a little inactivity on his side. It was a lot of trash talk. So he was ready to let off that steam. Both guys were talking a lot of trash, building up to this fight. You seen the face off. They were jumping up and down. They were ready to let their hands go. So I understood why, Jesse Hart took it, but they were right there in Vegas. They was ready to let their hands go, and that's what they did. But it was just a bad move. But I will say, like, once they were in the ring and they came face to face, Jesse Hart looked like the way bigger guy. He looked like the way bigger guy. And I think, as the fight was playing out, Jesse Hart, he was busy with his jab, kept popping off with the jab. He kept his distance. And then, the third round, Khalil Cole does a WWE style body slam. That was crazy.
Hey, Ty, yo, this is why I say, yo, Jesse Hart is one of my favorite fighters, yo. I don't care if he win, lose, draw. Yo, if I was Jesse Hart, yo, he'd have body slammed me like that, man. I'd have laid on the ground like I was dead, bro. I'd have pulled a Ric Flair, man. I'd have laid on the ground like I was dead, bro. I'd have won that fight by DQ. I'd have, just for him coming in 7+ pounds overweight. And I'm pretty sure they didn't give him no rehydration clause neither. So he probably was about 200 pounds going into that fight. I'd have laid on there like I was dead, bro. I'd have laid on the mat like I got a stone cold stunner from Steve Austin, man. Straight up, bro.
Yeah.
I'd have just been stretched out for real,
Yeah.
man. I'd have been stretched out, bro. But that show the type of person Jesse Hart is, man. Like that's a dog, bro. That is a
Facts.
dog. Like,
Yeah.
and the thing is, bro, Jesse didn't look like the bigger fighter to me. He just looked like the taller fighter. If you actually look at Khalil Cole looked like he was about 200.
Mhm.
Khalil Cole looked like he was about 200. And for Jesse Hart to fight somebody that was possibly 200 pounds is absolutely crazy.
Mhm.
Like, I would have told them, I didn't want Jesse Hart to take the fight. I'm being
Right.
100% clear on that. I didn't want Jesse Hart to take the fight. Like, 7 pounds is nasty work, bro.
Facts. Facts.
Nasty work. Like,
Mhm.
crazy.
Mhm.
And when you're talking now, if it's somebody that's like fighting at 135, they come in at 142, it's like, okay, cool. That's still bad. That's still 7 pounds, but it's a lower weight class. You know
Facts.
what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So lower weight class. But when you're talking guys that's supposed to fight at 175, the guy comes in at 182, and I'm pretty sure he didn't have a rehydration clause. And I'm talking about same day weigh-in. You know what I'm saying? Kind of similar to what the IBF does in championship fights. Like they can't weigh no more than 10 pounds past the contracted weight the morning of the fight. Like Khalil Cole, like Jesse Hart was the B-side fighter, so I'm pretty sure they didn't make Khalil Cole do that. So he weighed in at 182. He probably gained about another 15 pounds or something like that. Yeah, he was at least probably 190 something, bro. He was
Mhm.
like 190 something, man. But I had Jesse Hart winning the fight 6-4. I had 6-4 plus the point taken away. I
Right.
had Jesse Hart winning the fight. And Ty, the thing that's crazy, bro, the thing that's crazy about this is that Khalil Cole won the fight. He only landed 54 punches, bro.
Mhm.
The
That's
whole fight. The
that's what
whole
I was gonna
fight.
say. And that's another thing. Yeah, like Jesse Hart outlanded him. So I don't know. I don't know how they came up with these decisions, man. I don't know. I don't know what the judges are looking at, man. So like, but as far as the like you said, the body slam, I think that could have took a lot out of Hart too. Like I don't think he really took the proper time for that. I think he was just ready to get up and keep it going. But I think that body slam could have took a lot out of him too.
I
That wasn't no clinch push type thing. That was a straight pickup body slam, man.
Yeah, I would have at least took the 5 minutes. I'd
Mm,
have took the 5 minutes. I would have milked it. But I mean, yeah, how does a Todd? So how does a guy win a fight, a 10-round fight, and only land 54 punches the entire fight? And if I'm not wrong, I think he landed 14 of them in the first 2 rounds.
mm,
I think the
yeah.
last 2 rounds he landed like 4 punches in the ninth and like 2 punches in the 10th.
Mm,
Like that's nasty work, bro.
yeah.
That's nasty work, man. And
Yes.
that's nasty, bro.
Yeah. And like Khalil, he really got a lot. He got away with a lot that night. He got away with the weight. He got away with the decision. He did get a point deducted, but he got away with a lot that night, man. So I know like I tip my hat off to Jesse Hart taking the fight, going through it, going the distance. But yeah, Khalil Cole, he got away with a lot that night. And like if I was Jesse, man, I wouldn't want that back. I wouldn't want to run it back, man. Cause like I said,
Nah.
it was just bad on all levels. So like, I mean, I know it didn't go in his favor, but that's a fight. Like I said, it was a lot of trash talking building up to it. But even with the way it ended, man, I wouldn't run that back. Like even if they could make it happen just like that, I wouldn't run that back, man.
Hey,
It was bad
bro,
all around, man.
on some real rap, like the people know that Jesse won that fight.
Mhm.
The people know that Jesse won that fight. And I'm gonna say this one thing, bro. I'm gonna definitely say this before vlog get on because I'm pretty sure he's gonna say something to piss me off. You cannot win a 10-round fight landing 54 punches, and you got a point deduction. It's nothing you can say to me to convince me that a person won a fight landing 54 punches. And watching that fight, I didn't even see 54 punches landed, bro. I think they did him a favor and said he landed 54 punches. I didn't see 54 punches landed. Cole might have landed maybe about 5 or 6 solid shots. That's it.
Yeah, he wasn't impressive at all, man. Not at all.
And Todd, and it's not the first time he's missed weight. This ain't the second time he's missed weight. This ain't the third time he missed weight. Like, he has a problem making weight. And Todd, remember I was talking to you on the phone one time, and I was saying that when they were supposed to fight before, and they were supposed to fight in Philly, and he ended up canceling it, I had my peoples call me, and they said they felt like he canceled it because he wasn't going to make weight. And that's why he canceled the fight and said that he, like, had an injury. But I got the same phone call before this fight. Like, yo, like, this dude out here, he's not going to make weight, and he's struggling in camp. I heard the exact same thing for the first fight. Before it got canceled, heard the exact same thing for this one. Because I got people out there in Vegas. So, like, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. So, wow. Yeah. So that's, like I said, man, it was just bad on, Khalil. It was just bad on his part all around. But like I said, I understood, like, boxing is a business. Sometimes you got decisions that's going to arise, and you got to make them. You got to make them quit. And like I said, like, I know, like you said, you wouldn't have took the fight, but like I think Jesse had a decision to make in that moment. But like I said, I just think he was just. It could have been an inactivity. It could have been all the trash talk. I just had a lot of different things that played out into why he wanted to continue with it. So, but like I said, it didn't work out. But like I said, it was just a lot of bad things that built up to this fight, and there was a lot of bad things that happened in the ring, and then of course after the fight with the decision. So it was bad from the beginning to the end with that fight, man. So
yeah, I mean, Jesse a stand-up dude for that, bro. Like, he's a stand-up dude for that, because it's like, not only could he have just not fought, but he knew his team had to get paid. He knew Greg Hackett had to get paid. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He got to. It's just people he got to pay. That's people he got to pay, man. And he went in there and was like, "Yo, like, I'm going in there regardless." So regardless of them saying that Jesse lost, like, he's a stand-up dude. He's a stand-up dude for that, man. And as far as Khalil Cole is concerned, man, like, I'm not gonna bash him because I don't know him, but bruh, if you having a problem making weight, you might need to fight at cruiserweight or heavyweight to where you ain't got to worry about these weight issues. If you're not gonna be disciplined and fight at the contracted weight, just go up to heavyweight, bro. There's plenty of action in heavyweight. Like, if you don't want to be disciplined, if you want to become a small heavyweight and fight at 202 pounds and fight heavyweights that's 250, 260, 270 because you don't want to be disciplined, go ahead and go do that. But to walk into a weigh-in and you weigh 182 pounds, you know what I'm saying, and you're supposed to be weighing 175, it's unprofessional. Even Eddie Hearn said, like, yo, like, Khalil Cole was on thin ice. He said he on thin ice. And Eddie Hearn was like, yo, like, Eddie Hearn was just like, yo, like, he said he didn't think Khalil Cole or Jesse Hart deserved to win the fight. Now, I disagreed with him there because I'm like, if anybody deserved to win the fight, it was Jesse Hart because he landed the more shots. You know what I'm saying? Like, he landed the more shots at the end of the day. But, yeah, I was just crazy. Like, and I don't go into any fight like feeling like I want one guy to beat another guy. Mm. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, I don't ever go into a fight like that because I don't be like personally invested. Like, I'm just like a boxing fan. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But bro, I wanted Jesse Hart to whip his ass something crazy, bro. Like so crazy, bro.
Yeah, and I would add like I would say like the last 2 rounds, I think Jesse was starting to fatigue, but at the same time, he was in there with a bigger guy. He was in there with a bigger guy. You know what I'm
Bro,
saying? So that could play the part too, and not to mention he was body slammed. But like I said, he won that fight, man. We know he won the fight. He outlanded him. But yeah, I think he definitely started to fatigue in the later rounds. But like I said, he was fighting a guy that was a lot bigger. So it makes sense.
and Ty, let me add this on too. And this is not an excuse, this is just facts.
Mm.
175 is not even Jesse Hart's like natural weight.
Mm.
It's not even his natural weight. Like anytime he takes a fight at 175, it's for a specific reason, or just something at 168 is just not popping. But he's a
Gotcha.
168-pound fighter fighting at 175 pounds. So he was already small for the weight to begin with. So to turn around and fight a guy that's 7 pounds overweight, plus you don't know how he weighed in on, like, you don't know what weight he came in on fight night.
True.
Cause I'm
Yeah.
like, because the thing is, Khalil Cole, like I said, I was told he was struggling during camp to lose
Mm.
weight. So I wasn't surprised that he missed weight. Now, 7 pounds is crazy, but I
Yep.
was told that he was struggling during camp. So, like Ty, he might have dried himself out, and the lowest he could get to was 182. Who's to say
Mm.
he didn't rehydrate 15, 20 pounds? He might have been over 200.
Yeah. And like I heard, like I said, I've seen heavyweight fighters say in interviews when you're at a big weight and you're doing all this clenching, all this holding and doing rounds, that tires you out. When
Yes,
you're holding and
yes.
clenching, the hugging, all that, that's tiring you out. And they were doing that a lot in that fight, so that could have wore him down too.
Your
So I
own,
think that could have slowed down his legs too, the clenching and all that. So yeah,
like,
but it's crazy,
like
man.
Jesse's not even a huge 168, let
Mm,
alone like a 75.
mm,
You understand what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like people get it twisted because of his height. Like he's pretty tall. You know what I'm
right.
saying? But Jesse's not like this humongous 168 pounder. When he go down to 168, but that's why I told Jesse myself, I was like, yo, like you that dude at 168. Like you can get it cracking at 168, like for sure. Like I don't like him as much at 175 because I just feel like he's just a smaller 175. Like that was going back to when he fought like Joe Smith and all that. Like so I felt
Mm,
that way for a while. But hopefully Khalil Cole will go up to heavyweight. And hopefully Jesse Hart will get another opportunity. I feel like he deserved one.
facts.
And listen, and bro, like Jesse didn't light the world on fire. Like he didn't light the world on fire. Like you understand what I'm saying? But he did enough
Right.
to win that fight.
Facts.
He did enough to win that fight. And Greg Hackett, he did as much as he could in the corner. It's only so much you could tell a person, and they're probably
So let
outweighed.
me let me ask you, Cole's trainer, who are him and Hackett cool? Like
Yeah,
they're cool. Okay.
yeah, Coach
So
Rel.
so was it?
Rel.
Yeah. So was it? It wasn't no bad blood between the trainers or nothing like that. Okay.
Nah, Coach
Okay.
Rel. Coach Rel is synonymous with Philly. He just trains Khalil Cole, and that's
Gotcha.
just what it was. Like, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
All
But
right.
yeah, I don't think it was anything like that. Like,
Okay.
so big shout out to the boxing source. He said, yo, give me a minute. I shot him a link, man. Hopefully he'll be able to jump on. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the main event though, Raymond Muratalla versus Andy Cruz. Raymond Muratalla got a decision victory over Andy Cruz, and this was if you want to watch a fight and you want to see high level boxing, give and take, just people think high speed chess. This was the fight. This was the fight for you. This was for the IBF 135-pound championship of the world. Raymond Muratalla, he got the belt. Well, he was elevated to champion after Lomachenko retired. Andy Cruz. This was his 7th professional fight of his career. He was trying to become the 6th Cuban gold medalist to win a world title in history. He fell a little bit short, but the scorecards was one scorecard was even. Another scorecard was 116, 112. And the notorious card out of the 3 was Tim Cheatham. He had it 118, 110 for Muratalla. So Ty, I know you watched the fight. Like, who do you think won the fight, and what did you think about the fight?
Yeah, I think Muratalla edged it, but not really by a lot. It was a good fight. Both guys let off their shots. Both guys, threw their combinations. The one thing I was concerned with was, Cruz and his experience going into the fight. But I take my hat off to him. This is his 7th pro fight. He challenged for a world title, and he did good, man. It's not like he was dropped. It's not like he was ever hurt. And, when you see Muratalla's face, the guy was bruised up. So Cruz was landing some punches. Cruz landed some punches on him, but that 110, 118 scorecard was crazy, man. I didn't know where that came from, but the fight was good. It was close, and like, hats off to both guys, for giving the fans an awesome fight.
Hey man, gotta give a shout out to my dog, the boxing sources in the building, man. What's going on, baby?
Hey, yo, what's happening?
Everything cool, man. Everything cool. We just got off the topic, but I kind of wanted to run it back so you can comment on it, man. Jesse Hart versus Khalil Cole. Did you have Cole winning the fight?
What, Khalil winning the fight? Nah, but it was just nasty work there with the scorecards over at Fontainebleau, man. It was nasty work, bro.
Yeah, it was bad. The thing that's crazy, and I was telling Ty about this, the fact that Cole only landed 54 punches total.
Yep. I'm like, bro, that is like only about 5 punches per round on average. Like, that is nasty.
A source, yo, and the thing that's crazy, bro. He landed 14 of them shots in like the first 2 rounds. He landed. Go look at the punch stats. I think he landed like 4 punches in the first round. He landed like, might have been like
10 around,
something like that in the second. And I think the last 2 rounds he landed like 4 punches in the 9th round and landed like 2 punches in the 10th. Like, nasty work, bro. Like, I'm like, how do you score around for a person that's not landing shots, man? And Boxing Source, I know you was talking about this on your last show, man, but just people that just judge rounds off of who's moving forward, like, that annoys me, bro.
Yeah,
it annoys me simply because I've seen plenty of fighters move forward and get their ass whipped,
get tagged up,
tagged up, something crazy, man. Like, and I'm like, it's just like, oh well, he was the aggressor, he was moving forward. Like, if you're not landing anything, like, what does that mean? Like, seriously, like, what does that mean if you're not landing anything?
You're not landing anything, or you're not landing punches with any significance. You feel me? So,
right.
Even if it's counted as they say, a power punch, which is anything but a jab, if it didn't really affect your opponent like that, then you can't really give credit to that fighter. You know what I mean? I don't give full credit to a fighter that's doing that if they're not, like, properly affecting their opponent or shifting the fight in their favor. So,
yeah. Hey, man, I got my dog, everybody's favorite OG in the building, man. Boxing First Vlog is in the building. What is going on, brother?
Man, I'm just ready to put my 2 cents into this situation we got going on from this weekend.
Are we talking Cole and Hart? Because that's where we at.
Hey, I'm with wherever y'all at. I'm gonna jump right in. So y'all
All
just
right,
let me know.
Khalil Cole and Jesse Hart. What you thought?
The effort wasn't. I mean, neither one of them to me put their best foot forward. Obviously, we know Hart is on the second half of his career, so really, how much veracity we going to expect from him? He showed a little bit, especially late, where seemed like he caught a little bit of second wind. He started trying to throw that uppercut. It landed once or twice, so you know what I mean. I thought he did enough to eke it out, really, but if you're looking at the landscape promotionally, it wouldn't have been a good look for them to let him win that fight. At least is a little bit more upside with Khalil Cole, even with his the weight issues or whatever. It's a bit more upside with him, still kind of young in his career. Where you talking about 40 some odd fights for Hart, probably not gonna get a title opportunity. So I think they just stole it from him, bro. You know what I mean?
Bro, the thing is that's crazy, man. Like Khalil Cole should just go up to heavyweight. I think he should just go up to heavyweight, bro.
Wow.
I,
That's a serious jump right there.
Boxing. So you want to know why though? Because it's not the first time, second or third time he's missed weight.
Yeah.
It's like the fourth time he's missed weight, and he's only had 11 fights.
Yeah, 11 fights. And the wild part is, it's like, they had this thing for, as they say, the WBC USA light heavyweight title, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had the fight against Kwame Ritter when that supposed title was vacant. He gets that win. Then the next fight he has against Gallegos was the one where he got stopped. So he loses that joint. Then he has the rematch with the dude, gets it back, and then here we are, and he has this fight with Jesse Hart. And we know about, the stuff here for this particular camp, but all the stuff that was going on with him, switching camps and being with other trainers and all of that too. So it's been, as they say, tumultuous over these past few fights. And, I think Eddie Hearn was talking about it, and he's like, yo, like Cole's gonna have to do something, because it's like you doing all of this, and we got guys that are trying to get a spot, and you pretty much approaching it this way. It's crazy there on that front.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, bro.
And in all actuality, Cole is better future food than Jesse Hart is. That's where I think where it ended up promotionally making a move on the scorecards. Obviously, you mic'd up, you keyed in, they can double tap, SOS you. Look, switch that, fix that, scratch that off, all of that. Whatever happened for them scorecards to end up the way they did. Obviously, if you throw 60 punches in a 10-round fight, that's not offensively successful. And even if you landed all 60 of them, or if he did, that's not enough to say you won a fight, even a close fight, when you seen the effort from the older fighter, because you have to reward effort too. You know, understand what I'm saying? If you judging properly and analyzing what you're saying properly, the effort has to be there. You're dealing with an older fighter. He hasn't folded. He hasn't given up. The youngster seemed to have got frustrated, quit, letting his hands go. He was applying pressure, but was it successful pressure? Was he doing anything with it? That's like they say in the MMA, if you get a takedown, but you don't do anything with the takedown, is it really a takedown? You know what I mean? So it's the same thing in boxing. You keep coming forward, but for what? You ain't doing nothing when you come to the front door, but just being a nuisance. So, and I thought the older cat should have been rewarded, but this is boxing, bro. So obviously we seen some janky refereeing. Now we seeing some janky judging. It's 2026. We back in the mix.
Hey, bro. I ain't never seen the judges pull it off with 54 punches though, bro. This might be a new low. This might be a new low. I've seen some robberies where some guys landed way more shots than 54 punches in a 10-round fight.
Hey, look, it would have been like if Ryan Garcia got the decision over Rolly Romero with the effort that he had in that.
Yeah, that would have been some nasty work. That would have been some nasty work for sure. But but at the end of the day, Jesse's better than me. I said when he slammed my ass like that, I said I'd have laid on the ground like I was dead until I got the DQ. Just for him coming in overweight, bro. That body slam was crazy, bro.
Yeah, because thing is, like, you know, Jesse Hart probably already got paid for the fight since he made weight, you know, because it's for, you know, any type of title. So you have to, that's the first obligation. You got to make weight or 175 or below. So he was the one that, you know, honored that part. So he pretty much like got what his pay was going to be, you know. And the thing is like, this fight could have happened back in October or something like that. So you pushing it back. You may have had a camp to prepare for it when it was scheduled for October, and then it don't happen, and now you had to do it all over again for this particular fight. And then you see what's going on with Khalil Cole being overweight. It's like, nah, that's why he was pushing so hard for the fight, because it's like, nah, man, I want that, you know, I want that fight because I know what's at stake. And that this could put me in that position to contend for a world title once again. So I ain't gonna have this thing being canceled. I have to go through this whole thing with camp all over again. Nah.
Yeah. No, I understood. I understood why he took the fight, but that was a lot of weight to take on. Because I think Cole did try to make weight, and he just came up miserably short. Which means I think he rehydrated too, bro. He looked like he was about 200 in that fight. He looked like he was about 200 solid. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, hopefully for Khalil Cole, hopefully he'll get his act together. But, you know, if you having weight issues like that, we do have cruiserweight. You know, you can go up to cruiserweight, bro. You can pretty much weigh what you want, eat what you want, you know, and you ain't got to deal with all this. But you got Eddie Hearn, you got people putting money up, you know, got money behind you, and you can't make weight. Like it's crazy. But the Muratalla versus Andy Cruz fight, man, I'm very interested to get the boxing source and Vlog's thoughts. I got Ty gave me his thoughts right before y'all came on, but Vlog, I'll let you cook first.
It was a good fight. Fight of the year obviously has to be put on the Rolodex, has to be remembered because we got a long year, 11 more months to go. So I mean, the next week is a banger. So
facts,
at least on paper. So we'll see what lines out. It looked good on paper for Zuffa, but all in all, trash card. You know what I mean? That little main event guy, super hype, ain't got the, you know, he just don't have the finishing power. It's a lot different hitting Western fighters than it is hitting European cats, I guess. So I mean, he was knocking them out over there, but he was struggling. He was hitting El Campo with everything in the kitchen sink and no good. So all in all, you comparing the two main events, obviously Cruz and Muratalla showed out. So again, like I said, fight of the year candidate. I had it by 2. I had the championship rounds to Raymond. I thought he put his foot down and finally was like, I'm not going to let this dude out feisty me, because I thought Cruz was putting up a very feisty opposition. Just, you know what I mean? It was there. He had a lot of heart, you know what I mean? But it didn't quite turn over as far as accomplishing what he set out to do. And if you looked at the fight, honestly, when you're fighting that way, that's not the way you go take somebody's title. That may be the way you fight to defend your title. You understand? That's the way I looked at the way you break down that whole fight. One guy fought as if they were the challenger going after the champion. The other guy fought as if he was the champion, trying not to get cornered and get trapped. And he was doing what he was supposed to do. And if you judged it based on that, I would say, yeah, probably a draw in that situation for Cruz. But because it was the other way and the champ came forward, consistently coming forward, even if he had his bad moments where he came forward and just kind of stopped, and that's what allowed Cruz to use his speed, get off, his little rat-a-tat, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, because that's his little favorite combination, is that 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. He was throwing that like he was still in the amateurs. So I was like, bro, ain't no real power with that. It's some scoring blows. Obviously, they could be a little bit damaging, but just long term hurtful. I don't think it was hurting Muratalla. That's why he never came off. I say he cruised a good 45, 50 through the whole fight. You know what I mean? He slowed down, did 35 on the curb here. You know what I mean? One thing I will say about Ray, he didn't do a very good job cutting the ring off.
Oh, I disagree with you on that, bro. Go ahead.
I analyzed it as he tracked him. It was more of Cruz slowing down once he got to a spot. Okay, I'm gonna sit here and see what happens, and then Cruz moved again. So I don't think like he really kind of threw a punch here to make him go over there because he was already had something loaded up. You know, there wasn't no bait. I didn't see it as I mean, at times I thought he got to him and he was able to keep track of him, but I don't think he cut the ring off per se.
Boxer. So if you want to roll, on that?
Yeah. So the thing about, you know, as you said with the scorecards with this particular fight, like I would be okay with a 6-6 score or a 7-5 score either way, but 10-2 or 8-4 for that type of fight is crazy work. I said it in the podcast yesterday when I pulled up the scorecards. The two judges that scored it in favor of Ray Muratalla had it by the end of round 8, 6-2 in favor of Raymond Muratalla. That's nasty work.
That's crazy.
Because it was a closely contested bout, pretty much like throughout the bout. And for a lot of those rounds in the first half of the fight, you would say that a number of them were close. So for them two judges, they pretty much like put it into Muratalla's favor, right? So by the end of round 8 on 2 cards, Andy Cruz would have had to win all 4 of those rounds in order for those cards to be even, like that 114 score was. So to me, it was like they didn't really give Andy Cruz credit for him slipping or countering punches or landing more emphatic punches, right? The thing with the activity, to me, if you're not effective with it, if you're not, making your opponent do something different, if he's still not off of his game, then it's not really effective to me, right? So the stuff about like activity, if it's not, being meaningful with what you're doing, then you can't necessarily count that or favor that towards the fighter in a round. So that's why I was like, I had it more close to being even, because I'm not going to give you that much credit for, going forward if you're not being effective with it. And, to Botson's first point in reference to Muratalla not cutting off the ring and kind of like following them, it's more because he's not necessarily like throwing punches before trying to get within range, 1, or 2. If he feels like his opponent is going to be moving off to the side, you're not throwing a punch that says, hey, I'm going to send a message. If you're thinking about like going to my right, I'm going to throw that right hand so that once you do move to my right, you're going to be meeting his fist. So for Muratalla, it was more about him just being more consistent as far as like his approach. And then once he gets within range, okay, I'm going to work a couple shots to the body. I'm going to do like a 1-2 and then go upstairs, but nothing to the point where it's like, okay, before I do that, I know that I might need a jab or 2 from Andy Cruz before I get within range on that front. So I can't necessarily give Muratalla that credit when it's not necessarily being effective on that front.
That's why that's why I described it as tracking. You know what I mean? Like you kind of kept your prey in eyesight, and then once you get close enough, you can make, like he was saying, decide to throw whatever punch, let him get his jab off, and you retaliate. So I thought the word tracking was a good way to describe it. Jeff thought he did a great job of cutting the ring off. So let's see what G5 says.
I actually like that word tracking, because I think Andy Cruz with his style is almost impossible to like completely cut the ring off against him. Like his movement is too good. I like the word tracking because it seemed like he was setting up ambushes. You know what I'm saying? Like he was trying to get Cruz to a certain part of the ring and then ambush him. So it was like track, ambush. You know what I'm saying? But that was a hell of a good fight, bro. Like that was a hell of a good fight, man. I had it for Muratalla 7-5. I had it even after 8, if I'm not mistaken. I think I had it even after 8. And it looked like Cruz was tiring a little bit in them championship rounds. He looked like he was tiring a little bit, but I think that was because I think where Cruz lost the fight, like obviously you can win a fight off the back foot, right? If you're a back foot fighter, there's certain points in the fight where you got to plant your feet and let your opponent know you're not moving. Like we just gonna have to meet up right here at this spot. And I felt like Andy Cruz didn't do that enough in this particular fight. Like, and vlog, we talk about this all the time, Doug. We talk about this all the time. You have to stand your ground at some point just to send a mental message. And I don't think Cruz really sent that mental message to Muratalla during that fight. Now, he did some great work. You know, off the back foot, pivoting side to side. He had Muratalla running into some shit, for sure. But I think he got tired in the 11th and 12th round because he spent a lot of time just doing a lot of moving. I felt like some of it was like unnecessary. Except for you moving around 5-10 seconds, vlog, you can go right to the clinch. Make him start over again. I don't think he did that enough either.
Bro, I don't think they tied up at all if you really look at it.
I only see like 1 or 2 clinches.
Facts.
Yeah, so I give him credit for that though. I do. To me, that's outstanding. That means you know what I mean. Your skill is at a top point, whereas though you don't have to add that to your game.
Yeah, I felt, but that was another reason why I felt like it was a great fight. I felt like it was a great fight. It was little to no clinching at all. But I think Cruz would have been. He might have had some fresher legs if he'd have clinched a little bit more in that fight, for sure. But the one thing I want to tell you, all three of y'all, right? So the 118, 110 was like crazy work. And I'm going to get this gentleman on the show. I'm going to try to get him on tomorrow to kind of explain it. I got a message. I'll leave his name nameless, right? Till I get him on the show. I put a post up, right? I said, 118, 110 was some nasty work. I got a message that said, hey, I thought that card was about right. I said, you seen 118, 110? He said, I had it 117, 111. He gave his criteria in vlog. If I gave you 3 guesses, you probably could guess who it is, but I'll ask you off camera. But I'm going to try to get him on the show. He's been on the show before, but he had a 117, 111.
Bro, I was dealing with the same little scenario almost because, a well-known hallway guy, now he's been elevated. So he's now an analyst and an insider to the strategic part of the sport now. Now he's not just the information gatherer and the ear hustler. So now he done stepped up his game based on what the ring done said he's going to be at these events and blah, blah, blah. So he said the fight was a draw, but he had no problem with 116, 112. So how the hell was it a draw? Like, I'm confused, bro. Like, you're contradicting your own post. Like, this is what I'm saying, bro. These guys that are stamped shouldn't be stamped so easily, bro. Like,
hey, boxing source. That's it. Boxing source. That's a big difference, bro. That's a big difference.
Hey, earlier today, I had this same conversation. You know, my guy from No Duck Zone. I said that a lot of these
Clarence McClain
people that were ended up being analysts, like, really, to me, they really don't know the game. But the thing about it is there's no real way to filter out, like, who is these folks that should be branded as media. This isn't, basketball, pro football, or whatever. So you can't necessarily, you have to be a affiliate of like a CBS or ABC or ESPN in order for you to be credentialed for something like NFL, college football, that type of thing, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Boxing, you don't necessarily need to have that. Either you could have enough of a following, or you could be with, part of a promoter and say that, hey, okay, I could push this, I could push that, and then that could lead you into being credentialed. But outside of that, if you're not actually like really covering the sport, you could still end up being credentialed in that sense. So but yeah, that, like I said, with the scorecards, when I did see like 6 rounds to 2 in favor of one fighter, that like told me right there that would be nasty, right? And what I was saying yesterday was the funny part is that we talk about the Khalil Cole Jesse Hart joint, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how they had it for like Khalil Cole, but then at the same time for this thing with Ray Muratalla and Andy Cruz. Andy Cruz is the matchroom fighter. Like,
that's the crazy part.
Is the top ranked fighter. So you would have thought, if anything, they would have leaned it towards Andy Cruz, but nah,
That's a great, you know what, bro? That's a great point too. And I listened to Eddie Hearn after the fight, and he said that he felt like Muratalla won the fight. And I mean, I appreciate the honesty.
His honesty,
I appreciate the honesty, but I was like, he should have been honest with the co-main. Like, he should have been honest with the co-main. You know what I'm saying? Like, but Boxing Source, that's a great point, man. Like, you would think that Andy Cruz being the quote unquote the house fighter, that like he would get the edge, but 118, 110, I was like, and the thing is, bro, I'm like, the only way you come up with 118, 110, right, is if a guy is coming forward and they're throwing punches, you're giving them the round. Like nothing else matters. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, Andy Cruz, I keep hearing like pity pat shots, but I'm like, you do a close up on Andy Cruz after the fight and a close up on Muratalla, I'm like, their faces look completely different.
Yeah, I've been seeing the same type of comments, but I'm like, what were y'all watching in the first half of the fight when Andy Cruz was landing those counter right hands and up top and really like tagging them?
Yeah,
like you don't call those like pity pat punches when he's actually landing those shots, especially when that left side of Ray Muratalla is open for the right hand. Nah.
Yeah, and you know what, Source? We did a show prior to the fight, and Vlog made a statement where he said a person's weakness can be considered a strength under the right situation, and he talked about Muratalla's chin. It was like, yo, like he has the ability to take a shot even when he gets knocked down, he gets back up and he gets right back to work. So I'm like, Andy Cruz, like, yeah, like some people were saying he was throwing pity pat shots, but I was just like, Muratalla can take a good shot. Like, he could take a good shot. Like, he got a good, just because a person gets knocked down in a fight don't mean that they don't have a good chin. Sometimes you just get caught with a great shot. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like Vlog made a really good point, with that. And that was kind of what made it a 50-50. I was like, is Cruz going to be able to put anything on him to get his attention? Like, it was going to come down to like who could physically impose themselves on who.
Okay, can I interject? Just the same topic. We on the same fight. What do y'all think about what's being said about the weight difference and people already sending Cruz back to 130? Like saying, like, what's your thoughts on that aspect?
Hey, Ty, you want to cook on that, bro? How you feel about Andy Cruz? People saying Andy Cruz need to go down to 130 after this fight.
I haven't seen enough to him to say that he's like I don't think he's no power puncher or anything like that. But I wouldn't mind seeing him go back. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him go down to 135.
Like the 130?
Yeah, 130.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind seeing him go down to 130. But yeah, I mean,
Do you
I
think
don't
his
think he
age would have
outpunched
anything
him.
to do with that? A move like that, with him being close to 30, is that something that you would suggest at this point in your career, is the
Um,
goal just to get a world title? Would you know? Like, what do you think they're thinking? Bozy and them. You in the city. You close to the camp to a certain extent. So,
um,
what's your
I to be honest with you, bro, like I feel like they're looking at it like the 35 landscape is like pretty heavy. I think that's how they're looking at it. So I think people are trying to send him down to 130 because they think it's easy. It's going to be easier for him to get a world title, like you said. Me
they got?
personally, I wouldn't suggest it. I wouldn't suggest it because he fought well. He fought well. The only thing he did not do was, I think, like I said, he should have clinched a little bit more so he had more moments to actually like breathe, except for moving all the damn time. And he just fought a person that just won a round or two more than him. I was like, that doesn't mean you got to go down to 130. I think he should stay at 135. I don't think he should fight Muratalla again. Even as great as that fight was, I don't want to see the fight again.
You
I feel
know,
like I'm gonna see the same fight.
the wild thing is, I looked up the thing with the CompuBox joints, and it was like after the full 12 rounds, all that activity they were talking about Muratalla doing, and he landed just one punch more than Andy Cruz throughout those 12 rounds. You know,
Yeah.
as far as like him going down to 130, I don't really think he needs to do that. He's been at 135. He's kind of been around that weight, for all of his fights. It's more so for me that Ray Muratalla may have to go up to like 140 the way that he was looking, because they
Yeah.
were like saying that during the fight. Like he, looks way more like a fighter that could be at super lightweight than to be at lightweight. So I mean, for
Yeah.
Cruz, I don't think he needs to go down to 130 because he don't really have to.
Yeah, vlog. That was a great question too, and I think Muratalla. I think that's probably the better question. Should Muratalla go up to 140? And you gotta look at this too, though. So they fought for the IBF title.
To a certain extent, he's already kind of put it out there that obviously he wants to win a Shakur and Tiafimo. That was like his first thoughts after saying that Cruz is too small. So he kind of throwing jabs and calling people out all in the same phrase. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But yeah, so I mean, I think 140. I think he'll fit well at 140.
I think so too. And the thing is, bro, the thing with Muratalla is they fought for the IBF belt. So he weighed in at 134. Then he had to come in and weigh under 145 the morning of the fight. So the
Mm-hmm.
fact that he had to weigh in the morning of the fight and he still looked that much bigger than Andy Cruz, I think it's probably time for him to go to 140. And it's probably similar to what Boots was going through
Yeah.
at 147 and boxing source. You know this. Like when a guy can't rehydrate the way other sanctioning bodies you're able to rehydrate, after a while it can take its toll. But that's a credit to Boozy Ennis in that camp, because they could have just kept telling Boots like, hey, you gotta make 47, bro. You gotta make 47. We've seen so many guys ruin their careers by staying at a certain weight for too long. Like we seen Spence go through that. I think Spence
Mhm.
stayed at
Yeah.
47 3 fights too long.
Yeah.
You
I
know what I'm
mean,
saying?
but he's like a different breed than Boots. Boots is like gym rat and all that type of stuff. With Spence, I mean, he pretty much said it. Like that one year he fought Mikey Garcia and Sean Porter, he got up to like 182, 183, and you're trying to make 147. Like that, yeah, that can't work if you're trying to, perform
Facts.
at a top level, especially, being a unified champ or whatever it is. And his first belt was the IBF belt. So he had to do the whole 10-pound rehydration. So yeah, you can't necessarily mess around with that if you know that you have that 10-pound weight rehydration clause that you have to adhere to as an IBF champion.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to throw a hypothetical out there before we get on this week's card and we can get up out of here. Morataya versus Richardson Hitchens at 40. What y'all think about that fight? You think that's a good fight?
Hitch got the IBF.
Yeah.
I think the best route
120,
would
yeah.
be. Oh yeah, then that's the best route for him because obviously champ versus champ, IBF, easily doable when both guys are representing your organization. So I think that's an excellent fight. I think it'll be more confrontational because Hitch don't got the leg work that Cruz got.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Great point.
You don't.
You don't.
With IBF, sometimes they be IBFing. They had that situation with the mandatory, right?
Mhm.
But what they do different than the other sanctioning bodies is if you're a champion and you move up, you don't necessarily get the first rights to the champion in that weight class or be eventually the mandatory. You probably have to end up fighting to get that mandatory spot, so I would have to see like how that would sort itself out, but it would be an interesting matchup mainly because of Muratalla's fight approach and how like Hitchens kind of approaches things. He don't move like y'all said. He don't move like Andy Cruz moves. So I will have to see how he would adapt to that because we seen what he was doing against a guy like Gustavo Lemos, and that almost was a fight where he ended up losing. So
Yeah. Oh, real quick, I forgot to mention this. How y'all feel about Keyshawn Davis? Seemed like he was celebrating with Andy Cruz's loss.
Bro. he was celebrating as if he was the one that put belt to ass. Bro,
Yeah.
what?
Right.
And then it wasn't even a belt to ass
It
sort of
wasn't.
loss.
It
So
wasn't.
what are you again, the antics? You're doing too much. You're doing too much, bro. Karma.
Hey,
Finney, go ahead, bro.
that's what I was telling you. Like the other show, I was saying it's all how Keyshawn's going to be acting, and to me, it still seems like he hasn't really matured. So, yeah, if I was Keyshawn leading up to this Jermaine Ortiz fight, man, I would be more humble. But he's to me, he seems like he's the same old Keyshawn. But yeah, man, he might want to be a little more humble because you don't know what's going to happen in this fight this weekend.
Hey, Source, what you think about that, bro?
yeah, if it's something like that, you should be the one that says, "Hey, I should be the guy that should hand him this first loss as a pro. He got me in the amateurs. I want that smoke as a pro." You know what I'm saying? Like having someone else beat, the guy that you lost to in the amateurs, and it was as close as it was. Like you can't necessarily act like that. You know what I mean? Like I said, I just hope that he's focused for his upcoming bout against Jermaine Ortiz because he's like I said, he ain't been in the mix in about a year. His last bout was February 14th of last year because of the whole thing that went down in Norfolk. So, hopefully he's all geared up and everything like that. I know he got what's going on with the vlogs and stuff, but like he got to be focused for what's upcoming here.
Yeah, that was nasty. I watched it. I was like, yo, I said, did he fight? I was confused. Like I was like, yo, like that was crazy. And I'm like, and I'm like, Keyshawn don't even have a Muratalla on his resume. That's the crazy part. Like
he was celebrating as if him and Muratalla was partners.
Yeah, like I was like, bro,
like they day ones. Like stop, bro.
Yeah, I'm like, come on now, like, come on, man.
I told you every group and every next coming up sort of body of boxers, the youngsters coming up. There's an Adrian Broner in there somewhere. I'm telling you, he's the new Adrian Broner, bro. I don't know if he's gone as far as AB has, but he has those antics, that Prince Nassim type of antics. Those just I'm going to be the character in boxing right now. So more power to him. But remember that word karma, young man.
Yeah, I thought.
Yeah,
I think Jermaine is a good fighter, and I think that's a good matchup for Keyshawn. But yeah, for him to be celebrating like that, like he the one put in the work, like that's that's crazy. But we gonna get into this last thing before we get.
But no,
here.
hold up. I'm more upset at his sidekick, whoever his Robin was on that situation.
Hey, listen,
Come on,
hey, vlog. I don't have a problem with the Robin because he don't know no better. We don't know who he is.
Oh,
he the sidekick, so he was looking for the camera. Him no.
My God.
Keyshawn is crazy. Yeah, like he's crazy. But I just want to ask y'all this last question before we get up out of here. Who do y'all have between Shakur and T.O. at the moment? I'm not saying y'all can't change your mind before Saturday, but who do y'all like between T.O. and Shakur? I don't care who goes first.
I got Shakur, man. I think Shakur, like, he's the guy. He's gonna stand. I know a lot of people that say he's boring, but I think T.O. has a style that's gonna make Core, like it's really gonna bring it out of him. Like I see Core just standing in front of him, letting the hands go. If the feet, want to move a little bit. I see Shakur staying focused. I see him staying disciplined. Like T.O. might try to clown a little bit, move around, but I see Shakur stand on him, cutting the ring off. If T.O. moving, Shakur's gonna walk in, cut that ring off, keep letting them hands go, stay busy with the jab. So I think this is Shakur. Like I think this is easy work for Core. Easy work.
Source, you want to go on that one?
I got Shakur by decision. I don't think it would be like the Williams Zepeda fight. Because when that fight with Zepeda was announced, I said right then and there, I said 10-2 for Shakur Stevenson because I ain't really think Zepeda is somebody that has the style that could really give someone like Shakur problems. Now, the thing with Tio is they say, oh, Tio's an athlete, Tio is athletic and that type of thing, but he's not someone that is very active with his hands like that. Like, we talk about the Ray Muratalla fight with Andy Cruz. Ray Muratalla has the style to like be active and as we were saying, the aggressive come forward style. T.O. isn't necessarily like that. He's more of like a guy that is fast twitch, counter punches, or gives like 1 or 2 punch combinations. So if you're going up against a guy that's defense first and you have to take the lead and you're not used to taking the lead like that, then you're going to really look bad. And that's what we saw with T.O. against Sandor Martin sometime back at Madison Square Garden. Mm-hmm. And that's what we've seen in him against Jermaine Ortiz over in Las Vegas, So I expect the same thing here, even though it's a big fight and they say T.O. kind of, gets amped up for big fights. Mm-hmm. He's going against someone that has like a whole different skill level that's been in the spotlight, a couple of times before, had his, fight against Oscar Valdez where he completely neutralized Oscar Valdez by the 8th round or something like that. So I expect the same thing here. Shakur by decision.
Vlog, you got it.
This is going to be an interesting fight because, in my estimation, the only way that the fighter that throws the least amount of punches can steal rounds is by being more aggressive, and that's even just coming forward. So we got to remember we dealing with them people. So if you talking about Shakur being defensive, if you coming out too defensive early, you might get a round taken from you here or there. So I'm looking at it that way. I think if Shakur comes out on with foot on the gas, coming forward, putting the pressure, taking the fight to T.O., I think he could. I wouldn't say walk away with it, but he could build a nice 2-3 round lead that he might be able to fall back to his defensive sort of nature and get credit for that style fight within the fight too. So not losing rounds by being too defensive. So to me, it's just how they both attack each other because T.O. could steal rounds coming forward, which he's not known to do early in fights, but he could take advantage of those that are defensive and, won't let their hands go like a Lomo, like he did with Lomachenko, you know what I mean? So, and Lomachenko was faster than him at the time. I think Shakur's faster than him, but if he is just looking like he's applying pressure on like a Khalil Ko, you know what I mean? He could actually steal a couple rounds with just that visual, like, oh, it looks like he's taking a fight to Shakur. So it's just an interesting way to see how it might play out. But I think it'll be a close fight. I'll give it to Shakur by 2 rounds.
I mean, those are all great points. I'm leaning towards Shakur. It's interesting in the sense of I don't know what Teofimo Lopez is going to show up. I don't know which Teofimo is going to show up.
Exactly my point.
Yeah, like Teofimo, I think he has to be mentally strong just as much as he is physically, because Shakur is a very difficult puzzle to solve. Like he's like a Rubik's Cube. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a very difficult person to figure out. And Teofimo, the question is really going to be, am I going to get frustrated during this fight trying to figure Shakur out, or am I going to not think as much and just fight with my instincts? And that's what I'm looking for with Teofimo Lopez, because you're not going to outbox Shakur. Like you're not going to outbox him. Like you have to use that athleticism, and you have to do things in this fight that's kind of unconventional. You got to get Shakur out of his comfort zone. Like, so he's going to have to do something to get out, get Shakur out of his comfort zone. And Teofimo, I think for him to have a chance in this fight, he has to win the early rounds. He has to win the early rounds. Shakur is so used to being up a couple of rounds going into the back half of the fight that it's almost impossible to get to him. He gets into that shell, he starts pot shotting, he's snapping your head back. And it just, the shots he land be so clean, it's almost like you got to give him the round. Like he makes it almost like impossible for you not to give him the round. But if Teofimo can somehow win them early rounds, possibly be up maybe 3-1 after 4, maybe second half of the fight, Shakur going to have to start walking to him. And then it's going to turn into a different fight.
I got a question for y'all real quick. Who you think going to be the stronger guy?
Oh, Tio, because he's the 140 pounder. Like Shakur, the one thing Shakur said in the interview that I didn't like, he said that he made it clear he's not a 140 pounder, and if he don't get another big fight, he's going back down to 135.
Yeah, I heard that.
I didn't like that, bro. I didn't like that.
Yeah, you're not concentrating on what the task is, bro. You got too much on your plate.
Yeah, I didn't like that, because I'm like, you really shouldn't be talking like that. You know what I mean? Hold on.
I'll say this, bro.
Go ahead, bro.
I seen Greg Hackett say that Tio's brain, like his brain's going to be telling him so many things, but he's not going to be able to pull off all the things. So his brain might tell him back up, his brain might tell him take it, but he's not going to be able to think. And I think Shakur just going to be on his tail. I mean, this is why I feel that it's going to be an easy fight for Shakur. I think Shakur in the second half of the fight, Shakur is going to like stalk him walking down, and Teofimo is going to try to like just move. He's not going to be able to do everything he wants to do because Shakur is so skilled.
Will Shakur be able to bruise him up?
I don't think so. I don't think Shakur is going to land. I don't think Shakur is going to let his hands go enough to bruise up a Teofimo. And I think Teofimo, at the very least, he's very athletic, so he'll be able to get away. He'll be able to step out of range against Shakur. But we'll see. We'll see how that play out for sure. Let me get the comments real quick. Dev's Domain 1, big shout out to you. He said stronger Tio, better Shakur. And that's how a lot of people feel. He said definitely not going to be easy, and Shakur ain't walking them down. The one thing I will say, Shakur got a really good walk down game when he decides to use it.
But that's not. If you look at how the camp has to play strategy, at some point they're going to have to apply that, because being on the back ropes against a name of such as a Teofimo Lopez just automatically looks bad. We dealing with judges. We dealing with perception. You know what I mean? Whether it's effective aggression, him applying pressure to Shakur and keeping Shakur on the back foot looks bad, bro. And it can be scored as such. We just had it happen with Khalil Cole and Jesse Hart. So we know how boxing can go at times. So him coming forward, I think, has to be a part of the strategy.
Well, I just to respond to that. Shakur can't sit back and just be in the shell stance all night. That's not gonna work against T.O. all night, because like you said, you have to factor the judges into it. Shakur can't sit in the pocket and pot shot and that's it and win the fight. Like, I agree with that 100%. Like, he can't just sit. A boxing source, you see Shakur fight often, and you'll see him like this, catching shots, pot shot. You can't land a couple pot shots against T.O. and expect for the judges to guarantee you a round. There's going to be parts in this fight where, yes, he's going to have to come forward. He's going to have to be offensive. He can't just stand there in that shell. But I think that's what makes this fight fascinating, because I'm like, if T.O. can get some early rounds and there's some question and there's some doubt going into the back half of the fight in terms of the judges, Shakur's going to have to open up, which is going to favor Teofimo. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know if there's anybody that can get through that Shakur shell.
That's why it's going to be rounds. That's why the first 4 rounds would be very important for Teofimo Lopez and for him to have a good start. I
actually think. No, my bad. I thought you was almost finished. My bad. Go ahead, bro.
Go ahead. Source, go ahead.
I was like, Teo can't afford to be behind because he doesn't have. I don't think he has like a strategy to get back in a fight against someone that's defensively minded. Like it worked for him up to a certain extent with the George Kambosos, but it's George Kambosos. That's not a guy that can, either, be defensively minded and get out of range, which is what Shakur usually does. He'll take a full step back or a half step back to be out of range of your shots and then still come back and counter. Or he'll stand on his front foot, but he won't necessarily come forward, but he'll stand stationary and touch you, but at the same time will still be in a defensive stance to roll, slip, catch, and counter. So you got to be able to do something where you have to have an offensive game that'll give you an output high enough to where you could get the rounds against Shakur Stevenson, because he's very accurate and he makes fighters miss. So you're going to have to do something in order to either smother him or get it to the point where you maybe set a trap against him.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
You know what's very important to this analyzation of this fight? The judges and what their traditional style is. Just looking at their track records, what type of fighter have they picked in victories? Okay, what was he doing that they like that? It'll be very important to see what the judge's style is as far as his decision and fight. Yeah, you know what I mean? Some judges.
Hold real quick. One of them judges ain't Tim Cheatham, is it?
I don't know the judges per se.
We won't know until probably Thursday or Friday. Somebody said they would want his team would want Tim Cheatham.
Teofimo would definitely want Tim Cheatham. Hey, Source, I gotta DM you my number, because we gonna have to talk about who the judges is gonna be for this fight, because I think that is very, very, very important. And Vlog, that was a great point, because you have to factor in what the judges like, because I'm like, you have judges obviously that don't like the defensive back foot pot shot fighter, and you have some judges that will give extra credit for guys just coming forward, even if it's not effective aggressiveness. So I think that's a very important point. I ain't really worried about the referee, because I don't see too much clinching going on in this fight. But I think Shakur is going to have to show us a little something different.
I actually do see some clinching. By Teofimo.
You think some dirty tactics going on?
I mean, I know he put it out there as if You know what I mean? He says these things are legal, and to a certain extent they are, the holding and hitting, let the ref break it up type of thing. I get all of that. But he kind of leaned to like he might get a few back of the head shots in. He never said those words, but also said that's part of the sport, which it is. But if you're doing it intentionally, bro, so I'm confused about whether that'll be effective on Shakur if he's able to do some of the holding, the hitting, little shoulders to the head, and, the grinding type of down type of stuff.
Well, I usually look at situations like that, and I'll be like, if a boxer is not used to doing that stuff or doesn't have a history of doing that stuff, I really don't expect for them to do it in a fight. Like not a lot, maybe one time, two. But we got some dirty fighters that do it often. I think being a dirty fighter is kind of a craft. I don't think you just wake up and you're sharp with your dirty boxing. I think it's a craft.
I think they got university courses over there in Europe for that shit, bro. Because a lot of the fighters I'm seeing, it's them. They the ones that do a lot of that. So
who your favorite dirty boxer, bro, right now?
I mean, bro, that German card, I'm still perplexed about.
Give me the name I want, bro. Come on now. Give me the
dirty?
name I want. Come on now. You just mentioned him recently.
Oh, you talking about Sam Noakes? You talking about Sam? My God, bro. That's the first time I've seen somebody injure themselves trying to be dirty. I'm like, bro.
Source, Sam Noakes was pulling out all the stops, bro. He was trying to win that belt, bro. He was pulling out all the stops, bro.
Mantra over there, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
He tried. Luke West in the building, man, said, yo, what's going on, Luke West? Appreciate you, bro. He said, what we talking about? A little bit of T.O., Shakur, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We can get ready to get up out of here, though. He said, Shakur, he said, this one, I truly don't know who got it, but my instincts tell me not to bet against Shakur, but T.O. is tricky and quick enough with just enough power, so I don't know. It's a tricky fight, bro. It's a tricky fight, but it's tricky because you don't know if Shakur is going to do enough offensively to make the rounds convincing. Like, I can see Teofimo showboating and all that stuff in the first 2-3 rounds, man, and they might give him the first 2-3 rounds just off him moving around and showboating. You just don't know. You know what I'm saying? But Shakur is going to have to come out of that shell a little bit to set himself up for the back half of the fight. He can't, like Source said, man, you can't give up. He can't give up them first 4 rounds. I know he's not really concerned about the early part of the fight, like he said it in several interviews, but you can't give up. You can't be down 3-1 or 4-0 against T.O. in the first 4 rounds of a big-time fight. Because I think if you give him some light at the end of the tunnel, I think T.O. will turn up. I do think he'll turn up. So Shakur's going to
will he turn up early though? T.O. don't turn up early.
I think he do turn up early.
In these last 3 to 4 fights.
Well, let me rephrase that. When he's on his game, he's a very good starter. Very good. Damn near front runner.
I've seen him do it, but that was some years ago though. So I'm just saying.
I say, but the thing is, I'm like, even with Shakur, it's kind of like, how many times have you actually seen him open up offensively from bell to bell? You rarely see it. That's what makes this fight so fascinating, though.
Yeah. It's definitely. I'm hoping we get a similar fight to what we just had this past weekend, Muratalla Cruz. Something that's memorable, something that's debatable, but keeping everything honest about what we're seeing. You know what I mean? Having to give T.O. his credit, having to give Shakur his credit. You know what I mean? We have to do that as pundits in this sport because we got to find a way to create a lane where people want to come and see and hear the truth. Like, okay, that's what they saw. You know what? Because I saw the same thing. You know what I mean? So a lot of these dudes, like, you can't say it was a draw, but then you agree with 116, 112 too. So we you know what I mean? We gotta, You feel me?
I seen your video earlier, so I seen you was feeling a little spicy on that
Man,
topic.
and bro,
I got you.
don't spread the mayonnaise like
Well,
that, bro.
go watch Boxing First Vlogs video. If you want to know exactly who he's going at, I ain't gonna give it to y'all. Y'all gotta go watch the video. Luke West, I'm gonna get through these three and we can get up out of here. Luke West, he said T.O. really has had some issues with somebody with the distance control like Shakur has. He said, I don't know. I think if T.O. starts off slow, he's gonna get frustrated with not being able to get at Shakur. I agree with that. And but I didn't consider that the judges leaning towards T.O. if Shakur play it too safely. You have to factor in the judges, bro. Like you have to factor in the judges because it's like the chances of Shakur getting caught with like a crazy shot is slim. But then at the same time, Shakur don't turn up enough to really like is T.O. going to be in a whole lot of danger in many aspects of this fight. So you have to look at the judges. I thought that was a great point. Luke West said, I'm gonna go sub to him. Yeah, go sub all three.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. Boxing First Vlog, the Boxing Source, and In This Corner podcast. I need all three, bro. But Luke West family, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, we're gonna close this joint out, man. Like this was an impromptu Monday night hour 30-minute joint. You know what I'm saying? He said, all good. He said, love the Giants hat. Yeah, man. But hey, Ty Finney, give him your social media and all that good stuff, brother.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. It's Ty Finney, IG, the Legend 3347. Like I said, man, just look out for the interviews. I'm already in talks with some fighters, so definitely stay on the lookout for that.
All right. Boxing Source, man, it was a pleasure you dropping in, man. I really appreciate it, bro. You're doing some really, really great work over there on your channel, man. Let them know your channel, social media, and all that good stuff, bro.
Man, it's just the Boxing Source. You look that up and there it is. You feel me? Got the joint coming up for Friday, Pro Box TV. So
yes,
y'all tune in and stuff like that.
Yeah, and people gotta start showing Pro Box TV some love too, man. Like they really be putting on some solid cards.
Can I say that right now?
Mm-hmm.
Zuffa and them got a long way to go before they can actually compare it to some of these cards Pro Box has put out.
Hey, bro,
I'm gonna tell everybody right now.
Did you hear
real
me
quick.
Earlier?
No, I came in late, so
I'll tell you what I finish your statement. I'll tell you what I said though.
I can't give them no steam until I see something close to a world title situation, something of that ilk. Because right now, y'all beneath Pro Box with the competition level, the names y'all got so far. Y'all got Pro Box names, really. You know what I mean? Caleb Walsh, come on, bro. You gave this dude the main event, and he couldn't even perform. So, I'm just saying. I'm not giving them a look. And then I definitely don't like they dynamic duo. Maxi Pad and Molly, the harem quorum. Yeah, I can't do that, bro. That's not. You can't carry me through no fight night.
What I said earlier, this is why I asked was you listening earlier because I thought you might have caught what I said. I was telling Ty Finney that Zuffa, in terms of how it's promoted, I was just like, if they were promoting them, because I don't know how it was promoted. You know, I don't know what the layout was. So I'm like, if they came out saying it was going to be the best thing smoking, I was just like, no. Like any new product, you got to work out the kinks and all that good stuff. But I told Ty Finney, I said Zuffa Boxing right now is Pro Box TV with money behind it for production. That's exactly where they're at right now. But I'm like, if they don't promote it like it's the next thing smoking, and they're laying it out like, hey, we're going to give some young guys some opportunities. We're going to have some known names here and there, but we're about building fighters and trying to build up stars from scratch, kind of like a Pro Box TV, Showbox, Tuesday night fights type vibe. If that's the message they want to give and try to work towards that, I'm okay with that. But to say that they're going to take over like boxing and all this other stuff, I'm not trying to hear none of that. Ultimately, I hope they get it right because it's another network. Like boxing has a network problem right now, and we talked about that for a while. We need more networks invested in boxing so we can actually get more boxing. You know what I'm saying? Like really outside of Turkey and the zone is really no other networks really popping.
Yeah, but I want to say, yeah, man, I definitely agree with you, man. I gotta give Pro Box some love because they always having them cards right here, right here in Maryland in the backyard. So yeah, shout out to Pro Box, man.
Yeah. Big shout out to Pro Box TV, man. Like
Zuffa, hopefully Zuffa will boxing in reference to this isn't going to be like how you have K2 or 360 promotions on UFC Fight Pass, because as of right now, that's what it's looking like. They're still using the same folks from that, but we're having a few of those signings that kind of like have a few names that some fight fans are familiar with. So, we'll see if they'll be able to build on that. But if it's another one of those 360 promotion type deals, they ain't gonna go far.
Yeah, I don't think so either. That's a great point too. And with Zuffa, they're trying to sign any and everybody, bro. Like it's a guy that's on Facebook that you could tell he works behind the scenes for some type of promoter or whatever. He literally put up a post, no lie. He put up a post like 2 days ago. He said, if you're interested in signing with Zuffa Boxing, DM me. No lie. It wasn't no, hey, you got to have a certain record. You got to have this, you got to have that. It was just, if you want to get signed with Zuffa Boxing, DM me. You know what I'm saying? And that's just where they at. And then I'll tell you this before we go. Source, I know somebody that signed on to Zuffa Boxing. He's a heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? Solid fighter. You know what I'm saying? But he signed on to Zuffa, right? So, and I never heard this before. This is from a media space, right? So I said, we supposed to be doing an interview like months ago. We just never made it happen. So after he got signed with Zuffa, I said, yo, let's link up. Let's do an interview. I got told they had to contact Zuffa to make sure it was okay.
Oh boy. Here we go.
Bro, you know what Dana White is known for?
What's that?
Putting you on the shelf. He will sign you just to shelf you.
Yeah.
Bro. Source, I promise you, I'm gonna send you my number after this show because we gotta talk. But
yeah, for sure.
I said, excuse me? I was like, what? And that's my dog, bro. It was the fighter's manager, like, and that's my dog. And I'm like, what? And he was like, yo, like, I gotta ask him if it's cool. Like, they gotta know everything. And I was like, whoa. Like, I was like, yo, what? I was like, what kind of contracts are they drawing up? I was just like, when do you have to ask permission to do any type of promotion that can enhance your name and enhance your career? Hey,
here we go.
Source, like, listen, bro, real quick. So I said, okay. I said, listen, listen, like, I said, don't risk anything. You just signed the contract. I said, don't risk anything. So I got asked, okay, what was the name of the channel? My channel, right? What was the name of my channel? What was the name of the podcast? They was going to reach out to Zuffa to see if it was cool. I have not heard anything since.
Damn.
I've never heard that before. And listen, and I know it's not my people's because I've been chatting back and forth with them for about 2 years. And we've been just on some cool shit. And the thing that's crazy, he was on the last episode of the Throw the Hook podcast. He was in the comment section. So I know it's not them getting all, you know what I'm saying, on a high horse or whatever. Like, it was literally like, yo, like, I gotta see if that's cool. I was like, whoa. If that's beyond nasty work. I ain't never even heard of that before.
Hey, I'm gonna say this. Right?
Okay.
And I'm hoping this isn't the case.
Okay.
There's somebody or some fighter that I'm familiar with that could potentially be involved with Zuffa. And if they're doing that type of stuff with the fighters, I'm hoping that they're not signed with Zuffa, because there would have been one instance where another fighter in the middleweight division could have been signed by Zuffa, but they said no. And they ended up signing with Sam Salukowicz. And a lot of people were happy about that within that fighter's camp. But if this person I'm referring to did, I'm going to be like, ooh, this is going to be really sketchy from this point forward, especially with how much I've dealt with this particular fighter over the years. So,
bro, did y'all? Let me ask you a question. Did you see any after fight press conference?
What for? What
with the fighters? I didn't see none of them fighters speak.
No.
I saw Dana White handing out his bonuses, which I salute him for that. I give him credit for the bonuses on the fight card. That's something solid that you know what I mean. But you can, if the fighters of certain levels, they can kind of do that in their contract to a certain extent too. You know what I mean? Winner take all sort of thing. You know what I mean? Whatever. Yeah. But I do give him credit for that. But he was the only one I heard from.
That's a great point. I didn't hear from anyone. The fact that they had them wearing Zuffa uniforms was absolutely crazy to me.
Yo, what is this, Catholic school?
This is it's boxing Catholic school, man. Like I'm like, yo, like I'm like, damn. I'm like, everybody got the Zuffa trunks on. Like I was like,
bro,
yo.
They know outside promotion. You can't make an extra 5,000 from your neighborhood carpenter one promoter's business. No one ain't
nasty.
Bro, the ring was even bare and bland looking. Like they just had the Paramount thing on the side, and then they had Zuffa and I was like, "Ooh, this is terrible."
They got some work to do for sure, but
we
gonna have to have an off-camera conversation because
for sure,
because I was definitely confused. And like I said, I knew it wasn't my people's. I knew it wasn't my people's, and obviously it's not my people's because I didn't put nobody name to this. But
no, we just proved this. We just discussed it and proved this.
Yeah. But I might. If you're taking that approach, right, with your roster, you're not going to be able to create no stars, no superstars, or anybody in between. Like. This has the potential of being some nasty work.
No, this has potential of failing quickly. It's what it has.
I agree.
The potential of failing quickly.
I wonder, and they didn't drop the numbers either.
Man, they put Maxi Pad and Molly Crown on there, bro.
How is that? You ain't gonna be able to get over that, bro.
Yeah, bro. Like that's your best bet to try to link to this mainstream audience. Like, stop, bro.
Yo, like the only way Max Kellerman can be really like controlled in that environment is unless he has a Roy Jones or like an Andre Ward on the actual commentary with him.
They were there too, bro. But from what I'm hearing, they were all tamed in their boxing analyzation. Very tame. Ward and the Bull Magic from Orlando, Magic Man.
Tarver.
Tarver. It was very tame. It was almost like
scripted. It was like scripted, in your opinion?
Scripted, yeah, it felt like a play.
Yeah, Max was forcing it. Max was forcing it a lot. Like he was really forcing it, man. Like I'm
not a fan at all. Once you tell me Manny Pacquiao is better than Floyd Mayweather, and I'm like, you talk about Manny, are you okay, Pacquiao? This dude needs to be pulled off the boxing set by the Sandman from the Apollo Theater.
Listen, bro. I think the commentators are very important. If you go and source, we old school boxing fans, of course. So like one boxing commentary group I loved was Tuesday Night Fights. I love their comments.
You talking about Al and them?
Yeah, like I mean,
and Sean O'Grady.
Sean O'Grady, like, yeah, I love that commentary. Like, even Showbox had a really good,
I mean,
really good team.
they were basically the commentary teams that was on that original game Knockout Kings, bro.
Yes, absolutely. So I think, you know, that commentary team is extremely important. Even with HBO, like I couldn't stand Larry Merchant and George Foreman, but they were so crazy on the mic. I was watching just to hear what dumb comments they had coming out of their mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the commentary is very important. I can't see myself getting through a Max and Molly going forward. So hopefully they clean that up. You know, not for my hardcore cards. Y'all want to pull that for like a big time card? Okay, cool. But my hardcore cards, I know Molly don't know none of these fighters. I know she don't know nothing about boxing. I know this for a fact. You know what I'm saying? So they gonna have to clean that up too. Luke West said they got Jay Opataya right. I guess they do. He said that was a good grab for real if they were able to get the cruiserweight champ. Said they thirsty. Yeah, he said he subbed all three of y'all. That's what's up. Appreciate you. He said, nah, Dana White known for doing whatever John Jones wants. That's funny. He said, show, yeah. Vlog, give me your social media and all that. I'm about to mess around
man,
for another 15-20 minutes.
Yeah,
man.
Let me get up out of here.
Go
I got
ahead,
this
bro.
food in the oven.
Tell me social media, bro.
I'm right here on YouTube, man. You can see it right there, Boxing First with the F, the word vlog on YouTube. But on the gram, you got to use the #1, baby. And then you can check me out on Threads. Check out that latest video and seeing who I bumped heads with. And I had to, you know, give him some common sense knowledge. They so smart, they lose their common sense. So they think they could just talk to anybody, and that's supposed to be what it is. Nah, I know the truth. You know, ain't nothing but the blunt truth dealing with me, baby.
Big shout out to Boxing First Vlog, man. I'm all over the place, man. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, X, you name it. Everything G5 Jeff TV, man. This was episode 14 of the Throw the Hook podcast, man. We back tomorrow. Man. I got off tomorrow too. We working. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna be back tomorrow. Ty Finney, the legend. Big shout out to you, man. Appreciate you stopping through, man. I'll chat with you off camera.
No problem, man.
For sure.
Thanks for getting me on, man.
Yeah, for sure. Boxing Source, I'm shooting you the number, man. Me and you definitely got a rap. For sure, man. Appreciate you jumping on, man. Really appreciate it, bro. And everybody's favorite OG, Boxing First Vlog. You know, we talk on a daily. You already know. You know what I'm saying? So we'll be back with episode 15 tomorrow. We'll get into the all the other fights that's going on the Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez card. Yeah, it's stacked. It's stacked from top to bottom. You know, we got to get into the pro box joint. We got to go. We got unification at 154. We got to get into that as well, man. So we got a lot of work to do. Man. But you know, on behalf of Ty Finney, the legend, Boxing Source, everybody favorite OG, Boxing First Vlog, and your boy G5 Jeff TV, man. Episode 14. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Peace.